Emmerdale star Isabel Hodgins has shared a brief three-word statement following Victoria Sugden's temporary departure from the series. Back in 2006, Isabel joined the long-running ITV drama as Victoria Sugden, taking over the role from Hannah Midgley. As part of one of the soap's central families, Victoria has been at the heart of numerous major plots across the past 2 decades. For now, however, viewers are saying goodbye to the character as Isabel prepares to step away on maternity leave ahead of welcoming her first baby with her husband, Adam. During Thursday's episode, fans watched Victoria's emotional farewell scenes, marking a temporary exit from the Yorkshire-based show. Her departure followed a dramatic climax in which she killed her brother, John Sugden, bringing his reign of terror to a close. The villain had resurfaced ahead of the Corriedale crash storyline and Aaron Dingle's return. After being drugged and injected by John, Victoria regained consciousness and hurried to the crash site in a desperate search for him. When they confronted each other once more, John pleaded with her to run away and begin a new life together with her son, Harry. A struggle broke out, and Victoria ultimately injected John, leading to his death in the same manner as his earlier victim, Nate Robinson. Meanwhile, Joe Tate pressured Robert into assisting him in setting up Moira Dingle, accusing her of having knowledge of Celia Daniels' illegal modern slavery operation. When Victoria learned that Moira had been jailed because Robert chose to shield her, she was heartbroken. Determined to make a fresh start, she agreed to sell the Sugden family's share of the farmland to Joe. Victoria later informed Robert that she and Harry would be heading to Portugal to stay with Diane Sugden for a while. The episode then featured a poignant farewell between the siblings. As she loaded her belongings into a taxi, Harry ran back for one final hug with Robert. In an emotional exchange, Victoria apologized for not trusting him about John and admitted she felt there was nothing left worth fighting for, only tainted money, painful memories, and the loss of their farm. Robert attempted to comfort her, insisting they still had each other, but Victoria remained resolute. She confessed she didn't believe she could be the mother Harry needed if she stayed, though she promised she would return someday. After filming Wrapped, Isabel took to Instagram and posted a cinematic image of herself walking hand in hand with Ryan Hawley, who plays Robert. Alongside the photo, she captioned it simply, "That's a wrap." Her co-stars, including Eden Taylor-Draper and Laura Norton, responded with supportive messages as she officially stepped away from the soap, ahead of motherhood. Reflecting on her exit, Isabel recently admitted she had expected to be far more emotional when shooting her final scenes. Having grown up on the show, she described Emmerdale as all she has ever known. However, she explained that pregnancy shifted her perspective, and she ultimately felt prepared to take a break from filming. Emmerdale villain John Sugden's time in the village has now definitively wrapped up. The character, portrayed by Oliver Farnworth, first appeared in 2024 when Aaron Dingle, played by Danny Miller, discovered him stranded at the roadside. The pair shared a brief encounter and later reconnected when John's van broke down again, forcing him to seek assistance from Kane Dingle, portrayed by Jeff Hordley. It was soon revealed that John was the long-lost brother of Victoria Sugden, played by Isabel Hodgins, and with so little family left in the village, she was eager for him to remain. Although John initially seemed reluctant to settle, he gradually integrated into village life by building friendships, pursuing a relationship with Aaron, and taking up a position at the local surgery. From the outset, there was something unsettling about the medic, but his darker personality was not fully exposed until 2025. Flashbacks later disclosed that John suffered from a so-called hero complex, compelling him to engineer dangerous incidents so he could rescue the victims and bask in admiration. Schemes involving Jacob Gallagher, Joe Warren Plant, and Chaz Dingle, Lucy Pargeter, unfolded in his favour, yet one plot ended disastrously. After discovering Nate Robinson, played by Jarrell Carter, severely beaten, John administered an injection that triggered a fatal reaction. He subsequently disposed of Nate's body in the river, where it remained undiscovered for several months. As the threat of exposure intensified, John's behavior grew increasingly erratic and dangerous. During the summer, he relocated with Aaron to an isolated cottage outside the Dales, which coincidentally turned out to be his childhood residence. Meanwhile, he secretly imprisoned Mackenzie Boyd, portrayed by Lawrence Robb, in an underground bunker near the property. Mackenzie had uncovered the truth about John, but was held captive for weeks, while John insisted he was not a remorseless killer. Following a dramatic confrontation at the gorge, John hurled himself and Aaron from a cliff edge, leaving Aaron in a coma. Once Aaron regained consciousness, he exposed John's crimes, ultimately leading to Mackenzie's rescue. With assistance from Caleb Milligan, William Ashe, who had been entangled in a blackmail scheme, John fled the village. He stayed away for several months before resurfacing in December with a plan to eliminate Robert Sugden, played by Ryan Hawley, convinced that Robert's death would clear the path for him and Aaron. However, events once again spiraled beyond his control, and Aaron apprehended him, forcing him to head towards the police station. Desperate to avoid imprisonment, John deliberately released the steering wheel, demanding that Aaron take control of the vehicle. Their car subsequently collided with another, driven by the Swain family from Coronation Street, setting up the dramatic Corriedale crossover and paving the way for a final confrontation between Victoria and her brother in the woods. In a strikingly ironic parallel, John ultimately died in the same manner as Nate, after being injected with a drug, suffering a severe reaction, and passing away. Victoria has since been overwhelmed by guilt over causing John's death. Despite efforts from Robert and Aaron to support her recovery, she remains fixated on the fact that she ended a life. She is also haunted by the belief that the ordeal involving Moira Dingle, Natalie J. Robb, might have unfolded differently had she not killed her brother. In tonight's episode, Victoria visited the Mill Cottage flat to collect a suitcase before departing for Portugal. She sensed Aaron's uneasy demeanour and quickly learned the reason behind it. Aaron revealed a container of John's ashes, explaining that they had been left on the doorstep that morning. As John's legal next of kin, Aaron had no option but to take responsibility, since nobody else wanted them. Later in the pub, Aaron and Robert debated what should be done with the remains. Tracy Metcalf, portrayed by Amy Walsh, soon entered and insisted she knew precisely how to deal with them. In the pub toilets, Tracy unceremoniously emptied John's ashes into the toilet. She admitted to Robert that she had struggled to feel any joy since John killed Nate, and disposing of the man responsible in such an undignified fashion felt entirely appropriate. Emmerdale continues to air on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is available for streaming on ITVX.